Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is LT Pogue Mahone. I said the next video I was going to make was going to be on the spawning system. Just to be honest, the spawning system in PlanetSide 2 on the PlayStation 4 is somewhat flawed right now. Until they fix some issues, I don't think that's probably a good video to make. But the point of understanding the spawning system is, for the most part, to understand how to find a fight. So I am going to make a short video just showing you how to find a good sized conflict that you can enjoy. So the first method, I'm going to just try the instant action. So I go to the map, and then you'll see at the bottom right of the screen the triangle button is the instant action button. So let's just see, you'll see a large conflict there in the middle of the map. Let's just see how good the instant action is at putting me into a decent sized conflict. Usually it works pretty well, and sometimes it'll put you in a place that's not really evenly matched. Sometimes it'll put you into a conflict where your team is already dominating, and I don't really have too much fun with those, but let's go ahead and just see how it does. You'll see in the middle of the map there's a pretty good size, 93 I think players plus on either side. And there's another smaller conflict to the right. We'll see which one it puts us into. So you'll see it placed me into a fight at the biolab, into a large fight, the large conflict. And let's just look around and see how it did. I mean, how close we actually are to conflict. So you'll see I'm actually behind the enemy location. They're fighting in the other direction, right here beside another another light infiltrator for the Vanu sovereignty. And that's a really good that's a good deployment in my opinion, and don't really have any complaints over that. It's not always going to be that good, but for the most part, quick deploy or instant action is it's a pretty good system for finding a good fight. And also you'll see I just hit the instant act, or not the instant action, I apologize, the quick respawn option. And sometimes there's problems with this. Once again, I think it's because it's a new game on this system, but it put me right back into that conflict. You'll see there's a lot of people here, and I'm not far away from the action that I was put at when I press the instant action button. So using the quick deploy once you're already in a location is usually a good option if you want to stay in that conflict. So the next option we're going to talk about is I'm going to manually pick a place I want to go to. I'm going to redeploy to it. So currently the way you have to do that is you have to be alive. You can't do it from the death screen, which you should be able to do, but the game doesn't work like that right now. So when you spawn into a location, when you're in a safe environment, safe room, open your map and press the square button to redeploy. You'll see I redeployed to the other biolab, which is a smaller conflict. I believe it's between 40 and 90 people on either side, and let's just see what that conflict looks like. You'll see I've already kind of come to the front line of the conflict, right at the biolab door, and I'm already in range to shoot at some bad people. This is definitely that grinder experience they talk about, when there's just countless people throwing themselves at the enemy forces, and it makes for some, I think it's fun. Makes for some definitely situations where you can earn certification points. And you'll see here 40 to 90 players usually is plenty. There's plenty of people to shoot at.
I'm an engineer. I'll repair you. Visual and hostile light approach. I'm an engineer. I'll repair you. I'll start ammunition here. I can repair it. I can repair. Got extra ammunition.
So the final thing I'm going to show you is if There are no good fights on the continent you're on. How do you get to another continent? So you'll see there I just opened my map. Once again, you have to be alive to change continents, which you can usually do that in the respawn on the PC version. But you're alive, you open your map, and you zoom all the way out, and then you pick the continent you want to go to. And I'm looking at population limits. I usually like to pick a continent where my team is the underdog. Then you press the X button, and you will warp to that continent. Once on that continent, I'll show you another method to find a fight. You look at the map, find a conflict. You'll see here 90-something enemies, 90-plus enemies, and only 12 to 24 allies. That sounds like the kind of fight I like to be in usually. So I'm simply going to get a vehicle, either a car. In this case, I'm going to get a jet, which I'm not a jet pilot, but I can get there pretty fast. I'm going to set a waypoint and fly to that location. That's the final and the slowest way usually to get to a fight. And you'll see when I get here, it's a pretty big fight. I don't last too long after landing.